Sarah, I'm really glad you're here because I know you're a lash girl, and I would love to hear a little bit more about that because I feel like it's a very intimidating technique.
I think my lashes are the one thing that I must have before I leave the house if I want to feel somewhat fancy.
Well, and that's great, but I'm sure there was a point where you felt very intimidated by it, you know, where you were like, I could never do this.
Yes. I used to do cheerleading in high school, and we had to wear lashes for competitions. And there were many times where I did my entire makeup and then I went to put on the lash and it didn't go on properly.
Yeah, and there were tears, I'm sure. I've worked with a lot of fabulous ladies who like can put lashes on in the dark, but literally, but there was a time where they told me, they were like, I would be in tears. I was so frustrated because I couldn't do it, but I kept practicing and I kept practicing. And then eventually I got it. And now it's like nothing.
And I think that's the key is practice.
Yeah, practice really, practice is the thing. And that's with anything. This is no different. And it's not something that someone couldn't do just because they think they can't.
And the worst that can happen is it doesn't go on as you wanted and you can take it off and try again.
It's an intimidating thing to do. And I feel like it's very frustrating. Like if you don't know exactly how to do it, they could move around. It could literally ruin your entire eye makeup in 2 seconds. So I noticed you have one on already, so we're gonna apply the other one, but you used a beautiful lash. And what I love about this one is that it's super fluttery, but I noticed that the band is clear. And I always gravitate to lashes that have a clear band. And did you for any particular reason?
Yes, they feel more comfortable actually without the thicker band.
Exactly. I think that band sometimes can be really uncomfortable and it can be very difficult to work with. And they're not very moldable. These you could literally, these are great because you can really play with this. You could bend it and have it shape your eye really nicely. And in case you didn't notice, I applied a little glue to it already because one of my biggest tricks with lashes is you got to get a little glue on that lash and you want to give it a good like 60 seconds to dry.
Yeah.
I literally will say like 60 to 90 seconds because when it's nice and tacky, it just goes right on. I think that's the biggest thing. Like when it's wet, it's sliding all over your face.
And you don't want to ruin the rest of your eye makeup that you spent time applying.
Sarah, I'm going to hand this to you because you're literally the expert and I want to see your process.
So I just kind of bend it a little bit to fit my eye shape.
I'll hold that for you too.
And then I tend to put the outer side on first.
So you go on the outside first. Is there a reason?
I think it just tends to line up. I think you could do the inside first too.
Yeah, I think better than doing the middle first. It's nice to start on one side and work your way towards the other.
And because it's already pretty tacky, it sticks right on.
I mean,
I just am very careful when I open my eyelid at first. I don't even notice it anymore.
That went on like gorgeously. Look at that. I mean, it looks so good. And this fits your eye really nicely, but one thing with lashes is I'll trim the end off if it's a little bit too long because not everyone's eyes are obviously made the same. Do you apply them like at a table or how do you usually do it? Do you stand in front of your mirror? Because I know that sometimes you could support your elbow.
Yeah. I like to apply my makeup sitting down because I tend to conserve more energy that way and can be tiring if you're standing leaning against the bathroom sink or bathroom counter.
That's great advice. So it's like you sit and you're conserving energy that way, and then you could always use the counter for like arm support if you need to.
Yeah, and if you don't have a vanity at home, you could just sit at your kitchen table or a desk. Yeah. Either of those are
desk is good,
and you can just have a mirror that's portable.
That's great. Yeah. That looks amazing. And these look so good on you. And I love how flutter they are and they look natural, but they give you like a good pop.
Thank you.
So good.